And I asked him, you know, could you see propellers or jets? And he said no.
Even after the war, the government continued to investigate the Reich's alleged UFO program. The fear was that parties with sinister motives were eager to ensure that the dream of Nazi supremacy could continue to be promoted through the idea of technological superiority.
We've definitely got traces here of people with political interests preaching this idea that there were Nazi flying saucers, that they did great things, that the Nazis had technology way superior to ours and the Americans, but they just didn't quite have time to use it before the end of the war. There are claims that they'd flown to the moon and Mars before the end of the war. Hopefully nobody very much believes them, but again they emit from people associated with a very extreme right-wing group in Austria and with bits of the Patriot movement in the States.
The transfer of German scientists into America after the war also led to the transfer of scientific secrets. One of the most remarkable projects of the post-war American military bears a striking resemblance to Hitler's flying saucers.
I'm absolutely convinced, at least parts of the German project was taken for the Avro car.
The Avro car was a Canadian-US Air Force joint venture to produce a flying disc, the propulsion system of which would eventually form the basis of the vertical lift-off Harrier jump jet. By the 1950s, the government was certain that they could identify the Nazi flying saucers as little more than exotic engineering projects. But a far greater concern were the unidentified flying objects, the explanation for...
When flying saucers first got here, there was a kind of surge of interest. Everyone got fascinated by them. And for a long time, flying saucers were all the rage.
Flying saucers have invaded our planet. Washington, London, Paris, Moscow are key targets.
When it was first suggested we might be visited by aliens, I think astronomers just chuckled.
The whole world is under attack.
But then it gradually took hold. It had to be taken, well, more notice had to be taken of it, I suppose.
Can it survive?
Don't forget, in the 40s and 50s, we didn't know as much as we'd like to about the Mars and Venus particularly. And Venus we thought might be a world of oceans and possibly primitive life, or even advanced life. And I think science fiction has had a great influence